Okie dokie, so let's go ahead and do this worksheet. Starting with number 1, we've got centimeters to meters. And so we start with centimeters and we want to go to meters. So we know we have to get rid of centimeters. So centimeters are going to go on the bottom to get rid of that. Then we can say, all right, do we have a direct relationship that we know about, which are up here, with centimeters and meters? So we look around, I see centimeters, and lo and behold, on the other side, it's meters. Fantastic. So all I have to do now is put the meters up top, because I have my relationship between centimeters and meters. And then when I look at that equation, I say, what number is in front of the m? And it's a 1, so I put it in front of the m. And then what number is in front of the cm? And so I put that 100 there, okay? Then we look back at our question, and it's 21,500, and then we just slap a 1 down there just to keep that fractiony. There we go. So now what are these? These are two fractions multiplied together. And I'll remind you that if you multiply fractions, a over b times c over d, you multiply the top, a times c, and you multiply the bottom. And then to actually calculate that, you would do, right, a times c divided by b times d, okay? So the strategy is that, our centimeters canceled, our meters are what we have, that's what we're looking for, we're good to go. So now the top is 21,500 times 1, and the bottom is 1 times 100, and the unit we have left is meters. And so to process that in our calculator, we multiply the stuff on top, multiply the stuff on bottom, and we get 215 meters. Okay, so moving on, we have miles to kilometers. So we're going to go miles and miles. And do we know, can we go directly from miles to kilometers? And it appears that I can. So I throw my kilometers up here. And now I just have to get the right numbers. So starting from the beginning again, 352 miles over 1. And then my miles to kilometers, my 1.61 is next to my kilometers. And the 1 is next to the miles. So we're ready to go. And we just put that 352 times 1.61 kilometers in our calculator. And we get 560, we can just round, 7 kilometers. All right, let's keep going. This is kind of interesting. This is exactly the same setup. So let's see if we can just do this one quickly. 99 miles, slap a 1 down there. Miles to kilometers, we have miles on top, so miles on bottom. We can go directly to kilometers using those numbers. And we're good, 99 times 1.61 kilometers. And that's 159 kilometers. All right, let's take a look at number 4. So miles to inches. Well, if you look up here, you're going to see miles here. You're going to see inches here. You're going to see miles here. And you're going to see inches here. Okay. We are not going to find one thing that's going to get us from miles to inches, but we could do miles to feet and then feet to inches. Okay? So We're going to start with miles, and let's get rid of miles and go to feet. And then we can get rid of feet and go to inches. Okay, and now we can just put in our numbers. 2.75, oopsies, miles, throw a 1 down there. How many feet in a mile? 5,280 in 1 mile. Sorry, 5,280 feet. And so when we look at the number, the thing next to a foot, it's there. Cool. And then there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So we multiply those bad boys together and we get, okay, that's 174,240 inches. And again, that was just 2.75 times 5280 times 12. And then all the stuff on bottom is 1, so we don't even have to worry about dividing. All right, next we get meters to miles. Do we have something that goes straight meters to miles? So let's get rid of this stuff. Meters to miles. There's a meter. There's a meter. Here's a mile. There's a meter. There's a mile. All right, what's our plan? How about miles to kilometers and then kilometers to meters? How's that? Let's do that. Or the other, I think I said it backwards up there, but here we are. Meters to kilometers, kilometers to miles. With the numbers, we get 3,300 meters over 1. There are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, and there are 1.61 kilometers in 1 mile. Now, this one, when you're actually putting it in your calculator, be careful, because you're going to write 3,300 divided by, the stuff on the bottom has to be multiplied together, and that whole thing is on, excuse me, that whole thing is on the bottom. So it's really important that you do that carefully, and you should get 2.05 miles. And if you don't get that, then check your calculator, check to see if you're putting it in your calculator correctly. Okay, so we're going hours to seconds. So 8.8 hours. And if you actually look, there was an hour to seconds. And we get 31,680 seconds. Cool. Seconds to days. We're going to go seconds to hours and hours to days. So 1 day is 24 hours, 3,600 seconds in an hour, and there's our starting number. So again, this is one of those where you have to be careful about how you're putting it in your calculator. And we will get 1.01 days. All right. And here we are going to find out how many seconds are in 3 years. So 3 years is what we're starting with. And we have a handy dandy piece of information here that gets you from a year to a day, and then a day to an hour, and then hour to seconds. So there's 365 days in a year, which is given in the problem. In 1 day, there's 24 hours, and in 1 hour, there's 3,600 seconds. And I believe you get something like 94,608,000 seconds. And there you go. Hope that helped.